Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from our home away from home, the Senior Botanical Garden. We'll tell you more about that and those good folks later on the show. Speaking of later on, that's when our roundtable shows up. We'll get into all sorts of controversial topics, but between now and then, some great guests and important information coming your way. We'll talk about helping students to be successful and when they're in college even. We'll also visit with a family-owned business that's into a very unique kind of business. That and much more, so please stay tuned. But we want to start off talking about the proper way to lose weight and manage your weight, and with that, we go to an expert. Dr. Jamie Ard is co-director of Weight Management Center at Wake Forest Baptist Health. Good to see you.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
A good year for you so far, except for the COVID thing, which we want to touch on a little bit later. But give us an overview very quickly of the Weight Management Center and what it is you do.
Well, the Weight Management Center is a comprehensive approach to weight management. We help people, adults primarily, who are interested in losing weight to improve their health, and we use a professional team of multidisciplinary providers. So we have doctors and nurse practitioners and PAs, as well as dietitians and exercise physiologists and health behaviorists, all there to help you succeed in terms of losing weight.
It's interesting you mentioned the team like that, because my next question was going to be, I was thinking when I was driving over here, I was going to say, I'm going to ask Jamie about the fact that our TV comes on and you're bombarded with things, the radio, the print, the internet, lose weight, take this pill, do this, drink this shake. How is a medical-based program of weight management better and different?
Well, the simple answer is science. We are leaders in the field. Our team, our providers, our clinicians are people who are grounded in the science and evidence of what we know works and doesn't work, and we can bring that information to bear for an individual and really help tailor a treatment strategy. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. We don't just do it this one way. When you come in, we evaluate you, we determine what's the best approach for you based on our experience and what the evidence shows, and then we tailor a program for you.
We are also told, I guess from childhood, when somebody says you need to lose weight or something, we focus on the number of pounds. But I've heard you talk about in the past, there are other important numbers to consider. What did you mean by that?
Well, we know body weight is an important number, but it's related to lots of other risk factors for health concerns and chronic disease like diabetes and heart disease and so forth. And so we look at all of those other risk factors and we help you optimize your health. Sometimes it's all about physical function even. So can I get down on the floor and play with my grandkids and get myself back up without feeling the aches and pains of the extra weight?
Right. Now, you provide at the Weight Management Center surgical and non-surgical options. We won't go into a lot of in-depth on that right now. We can do that maybe in another segment. But basically, how would I know as your patient or as a client which option would be best for me?
So we can advise you on that, and we do both, as you mentioned, and we provide the full, services for all of that, and that's where that individualization comes in, where we tailor that approach and help advise you based on our experience. Here's the treatment strategy that will work for you, and it may include both medical and surgical, or just the medical or surgical alone.
The pandemic has touched so many lives in so many tragic ways, and as you well know, more than a lot of people. How has the weight factor come into play with underserved communities quickly?
So we know that individuals from underserved communities tend to have a higher body weight because of lots of factors that increase weight that are out of individuals' control. And we also know that COVID is leading to more severe symptoms for individuals who have obesity. And so when you look at that intersection, you're seeing a real explosion of severe COVID symptoms in those communities, and that's a problem.
I want to put something up on screen because it's important, the work that you're doing. wakehealth.edu/weight management is a website you can go to for lots of good information, or you can call 716-WAKE, and I think that's a general number, but hopefully people will visit the website, find out if they can visit you either virtually or some other way. But thanks so much for what you're doing.
Glad to be here. Glad to help.
Come back sometime, will you?
Absolutely.
All right. We'll be right back after this. Now on Triad Today, and I don't know what could be more important than education, and more important than getting kids in college, and more important than keeping them in college. And I have two guests who do all those things, sort of, and we're going to see what that's all about. Next to me, on my immediate right, is a first-time visitor to the show, Maison Sawyer. She is Vice President for Student Success Services for Forsyth Tech. And by the way, we'll be doing some more segments with Forsyth Tech throughout the years, including in a couple of weeks where we'll visit with President Janet Spriggs. And socially distant and behind us, my good friend Atticus Simpson, who's Director of Community Engagement and Government Affairs through Truliant Federal Credit Union. Welcome to both of you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Atticus, let me start with you. I heard something or read something in an email that you sent about a Brighter Days initiative. What's that all about?
Sure, absolutely. Well, thanks for having us, Jim, and Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
But as you know, Truliant's mission is to improve the lives of our members in the communities where that we serve. And so the Brighter Days initiative was our attempt to do just that, an attempt to bring more shine or light into a time that's been kind of dark because of the pandemic and because of the economic challenges. And so we attempted to help our communities with brighter days, hoping that folks could end on a bright note and even start the new year on a brighter note. And that's exactly what we tried to do.
And then this sort of a partnership and working with Forsyth Tech, and what's that all about?
Sure. Well, I will say this, with Brighter Days, one of the things that we do to try to bring brightness to the community is we placed a Christmas tree and a series of holidays lights on top of our new building on the roof, which is otherwise dark, over in Friendly Center in Greensboro. So that's one of the things that we did. And then we also worked with 40 different community organizations serving people in the communities that had challenges to provide them funding to help bring a little bit of brighter light to their lives as well. I think we impacted about 10,000 community members there. Our partnership with Forsyth Tech was an attempt to support those students. You know, community college students are really the key to the workforce.
Absolutely.
And they are the center, I think, to our economic recovery. And they have a lot of needs that Ms. Sawyer can tell you about, but we tried to provide them some support with gift cards that they could use to buy things that they needed.
Yeah, what kind of needs are we talking about the community college students are having?
Absolutely. So like he mentioned, gift cards that we can give our students, honestly, some of them are hungry. Even during the pandemic, it's been made worse. Some of them need gas money. There's a transportation issue. Some of them can't get to and from college or to and from work. Additionally, that goes to support. We can use that and then use other funding to give them what they need for like computer needs, technology needs. If you can imagine students being able to work on their homework at the same time as their students,
right,
and the Wi-Fi needs and the capacity of the broadband and that kind of thing. So that's the kind of support that they provided us.
You've probably just answered this, but maybe in a different way. What are the challenges in keeping them, getting them to stay in school? What are those challenges?
So through our Forsyth Tech Cares office is what we kind of birthed through
Right, that's right.
Our pandemic. We had already begun working on that prior to the pandemic, but it became evident that we needed to go ahead and just get the ball rolling. Because what happens is our students face what we call life happens challenges. It could be a flat tire, and you would think a flat tire wouldn't derail a student from coming to campus or continuing their education, but it does. And even if they have to sit in the classroom and are hungry as they're sitting in the classroom, they may not come back. Especially even sometimes they feel like they have to ask for the assistance. Therein creates a problem as well.
You don't want to ask for help.
Yeah.
And like you said, it could be one little thing, but now hunger isn't a little thing, because I remember we had Eric Aft on from the food bank, and he just bowled me over one day because we were talking about childhood hunger, and he said, yeah, and he gave me the statistics on that. He said, but also college kids, and I thought, what do you mean? Well, they're just not eating right, or they don't take time to eat right, they don't have the money to eat right. Very quickly, how can the public support what your CARES program is all about, or is there a way to donate or what?
Absolutely. So through our foundation, which is our charitable trust that we have through the Forsyth Tech office, they can give at forsythtech.edu/giving, forsythtech.edu/giving.
Okay.
Is the best way, and the foundation funnels the money from there to our Forsyth Tech Cares office.
Now I want to put up some information on screen. FT standing for Forsyth Tech, FT Cares. This is an email address at forsythtech.edu, right?
Yes, that's right.
So FT Cares at forsythtech.edu. 734-7195, I believe, is a general number there for that information, and also the general website for Forsyth Tech, forsythtech.edu. And a shout out again to Atticus and his team, to Todd Hall, all the great people that do so many things for the community from Truliant, truliantfcu.org. Atticus and his team and Truliant has been with Triad Today for all of our 18 years. So I can attest to the fact, just like you were doing, that the help means a lot and the community support means a lot. Thanks, Atticus.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much.
All
Thank
right.
you.
We'll be right back after this. Triad Today, and I want to salute a family-owned business with a great tradition, and we have 3 family members here. I think they're family members. On my right is Cody Kuykendall, Charlotte area manager of Goose Masters, and he has Ginger with him today. And back behind is our patriarch who's been on the show before, Kent Kuykendall, owner and president of Goose Masters. Welcome, gentlemen and lady. And we may at any moment have to let Ginger go outside for a convenience. But we'll just see what happens there. Kent, let me start with you. Very briefly, quickly describe what Goose Masters is and what you guys do.
Okay, Goose Masters is a service that we provide to the public, and we keep unwanted Canada geese off the properties with our great working border collies.
And that can be, and we've had, I know you guys have gone all over the United States to Hawaii and everything else. I mean, the people, they can be at an airport causing safety issues. They could be at somebody's apartment complex. You guys go everywhere.
That's exactly right.
Now, how did the company get started?
Well, I used to train border collies for sheep and cows, and I started selling a few dogs for the goose control industry, and I tore my ACL, and my mother-in-law, who has a big mouth, was talking in the who was talking in the waiting room while I was getting my surgery done, talked with someone that had a goose problem in a couple of businesses, and so as soon as I recovered, we hit the road with brochures, and you know, the first one we dropped off was in that area, and that's where we landed.
That's
3
kind of
accounts.
neat. Yeah, that's kind of neat. Now, I thought for a minute you were going to say because you were injured, your mother-in-law herded you off the
Right.
property. Now, you won some awards at a fairly early age. What was that about?
Yeah, well, when I was 12, 13 years old, I used to compete in sheepdog trials nationally, and I won several novice awards, and through the years I've won 3 national championships later on.
Wow.
Starting in 1995 and on up.
That's just great. And I'm just wondering, Cody, what's it like being in a family business like this, and especially a very specialized one?
Yeah, it's great because the experience I can get from my father and my mother, just of the years that they've been in it, it's great, and just being able to be kind of fully invested in it and know that it's part of the family, and be able to go from there.
Neither of you can answer this, but what's so special about border collies? I mean, I've had different kinds of dogs, my wife and I. What's so special about border collies?
Well, I feel they're special because they don't listen and obey because we make them. They listen and obey because they want to.
That's how I am when my wife says something. She'll go do this, and I do it because I want to.
Right?
Yeah, you're not buying that, are you?
No.
No. Now, look, Cody, seriously. Now, what does it mean? I mean, you guys are going all over everywhere. You're helping people. You got to get some gratification out of that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely being able to help pretty much any property like retirement homes or hospitals. Just knowing that when patients go in there, they have a clean walkway to go in. So yeah,
Sure.
that's definitely part of.
And
part of it
you're
too.
not hurting the geese either.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's a humane thing, right?
Yeah, and it lets the dogs do what they love to do too. So.
To chase them, yeah. Kent, what does the future hold for Goose Masters?
Well, we don't know that for sure, but we have high hopes. We are opening up a few offices in different states. We're in Florida, Oregon. We're out east in the at the coastal area.
Right.
And so, hey, people call us all the time with, potential opportunities.
Well, speaking of that, let me put this up on screen because if anybody has a problem with Canada geese, would like sometimes I think you guys even do free demonstrations if somebody comes out and wants to hire you.
Oh yes, yep, free demonstrations on your property. So.
Yeah, and the website's on screen, Goose, and I call it dash, it's a hyphen maybe, goose-masters.com. Please check out that website because again, it could be a problem you have just around your house, it could be around your farm, it could be around an airport. And these guys, as I said, they're award-winning, they go all over everywhere to help out, and they do it humanely. And I'm so glad you brought Ginger with you. And Ginger, how old is Ginger?
She's about 5 months.
5 months. That's great. So is she already herding, or are you just being trained?
We worked her a little bit in just kind of introducing her to the stock, but other than that, they're still a little young for that.
All right.
So.
Well, Kent, thanks for getting all this business going. Congratulations on having a successful family business.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank Triad Today, and I'm excited about this segment because these two gentlemen keep things going, and I mean that literally. I mean, They help to minimize power outages and all sorts of things, and very dedicated to community service. Next to me, and I'm making a first-time visit to the show, both of these gentlemen, but next to me, Jimmy Flythe is Director of Government and Community Relations for Duke Energy, and sort of socially distanced behind it, Frankie Batten is VP of Zone Operations in the Triad region for Duke Energy. Welcome, guys. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Jimmy, we're going to let Frankie sort of handle some of the technical stuff here in just a minute, and I want to throw it in, but I want to start with you very quickly, just to give us an overview and say that you guys have a real commitment to community service and helping people and doing those kind of outreach and programs. Why is that?
Hey, Jim, you know, for us, safety is job one. I mean, that's the thing we focus on for our customers and our employees. So that's the thing, everything we do, kind of safety underpins it. But beyond that, you know, our focus is on continuously providing high quality, reliable, affordable, and increasingly clean electricity to all of our customers. Our commitment to our communities, we've got a Duke Energy employee volunteerism program, and we support and encourage employees to get out and volunteer. And then we also have our Duke Energy Foundation that provides grants of more than $30 million annually. So,
and I want to salute you for all those things, and that's sort of a preview, because one thing I didn't mention is that Jimmy and his folks, his team, will be coming here each month here throughout the year to share some stories with us. Now I want to turn to Frankie real quick. Frankie, I'm not a very high-tech guy, but I hear that you and your team use smart technology to do, among other things, minimize power outages. Tell me about that.
We'll be glad to, and we're very excited about what we're doing in the smart grid technology. With our self-healing networks is what we call them, our self-healing teams. And what the self-healing teams allow us to do is very much like a GPS in your car. It allows us to, through sensors and switches, to be able to identify that an outage has occurred due to a vehicle accident or storm, and then of course allows, through technology, to reroute and keep a lot of our customers on and not experience the outage. And some of the ones that do experience an outage, it may be as small as a minute. And then we can focus on bringing our crews in to work where we have the actual damage and minimize the amount of customers that are impacted.
Now, is this already deployed all through, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No.
is this already deployed throughout the Triad?
We have it deployed in the Triad in certain areas of our main lines, and our goal over the next several years is to continue that. Actually, we have so much of our budget every year in capital space to continue to grow our self-healing network on our main lines. It's kind of interesting that back in 2009, at a Super Bowl ad, GE used the scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz to say, if I only had a brain.
Right.
And really, over the last 8 to 10 years, that's what we've been doing with a lot of our vendors, is developing that intelligence and that ability to be able to talk to our system through technology and developments that have occurred over those 10 years.
That's just amazing.
It's fascinating.
Do you have any sense, now since this is not something that's been around for a million years, I mean, I guess I'm wondering, do you have feedback or reports or a feeling or a gut feeling about how things are going with it?
We do. Obviously, you want to look at the data so that it tells you what's working well and where you need to close gaps or continue to improve, and where this technology will best serve our customers and in other areas where it may not be available. For example, recently at the end of October, we experienced Hurricane or Tropical Storm Zeta when it came through the Carolinas, and we probably avoided 27,000 long-term outages, and here in the Triad alone, about 6,000.
That's just that's amazing. I want to sort of wrap this up, Jimmy, and put some things up on screen, but as I'm doing it, understand that customers can now sort of keep up with what's going on. There's a generatingprogress.com website and some other things.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a new website we've put together where customers can go and learn, you know, more about our grid resilience and how we're modernizing the grid with things like Frankie just talked about. You can also learn about our investments in clean energy, the support of the community, our investments in supporting economic development. So we encourage people to go there, sign up. You can get a periodic update email to kind of let you know when something new has been added to the website.
I think that's great. It's up on screen, generatingprogress.com, and also the general website is duke-energy.com, which has all sorts of good information. Again, we'll be having some of these segments each month with some of the team, but I want to thank you, Jimmy, for being part of the Triad Today family. Frankie, thanks for coming by.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jim.
we look forward to it.
All right.
Thanks, Jim.
We'll be right back. on the roundtable. Before we get to that, though, a couple of things. First of all, another shout out to Adrian and the good folks here at Senior Botanical Garden, seniorbotanicalgarden.org. I hope you'll visit that site. More importantly, visit the garden. Beautiful place. Hope you'll check out my column in Yes Weekly as well. And also, before we get to the roundtable, a couple sad notes to report. Dr. James Rennick passed away a few days ago. He was a longtime chancellor at North Carolina A&T University, did a great job in increasing enrollment there and many other things. And he passed away a few days ago at age 72. He was on the show back in 2004, and we appreciated his contributions to the community. And also, speaking of sad things, Dawn Wells, who played Mary Ann on Gilligan's Island, passed away recently. She was also on Triad Today, and we had linked up a couple of times and stayed in touch. A delightful lady. She died from complications of COVID, I believe, and she was 82 years old. Now to three guys who are not 82 years old, but they act like it sometimes. Next to me on my right, but always the political left, Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster and journalist. Back behind him in social distance, two great guys, Dr. Don Martin, who is vice chair of the Forsyth County Commissioners, and Keith Granberry, who is founder of Helping Hands Consultants, who's been out getting people registered to vote, has spent a lot of time in Georgia, and who was very successful down there. So congratulations on your efforts.
Thank you.
All right, guys, let's talk about something here. Congress, while they were debating over the amount of a stimulus check, we're sitting here in North Carolina with a $4 billion surplus and a $1 billion rainy day fund. My question to you guys quickly, should our state lawmakers just take that total $5 billion, distribute it to families? Ogie Overman.
Well, I think if we could do it equitably, yeah, leave the rainy day fund alone, but you can't get, $4 billion sounds like a lot of money, but if you give something to everybody, it needs to go to the people who really need it the most right now.
Don.
I have no problem with committing to more money to the citizens, but I do think it really needs to be targeted. I think it needs to be targeted to people who are unemployed. It needs to be targeted to, the people who have been evicted. It needs to be targeted to folks that can help them with one-time money.
Mr. Granberry.
I think there needs to be a moratorium on evictions. I thought there were, but I think I agree with Jim. There should be targeted money. But the most important thing is that why is Congress holding up money for all of these people who are suffering and doing coronavirus?
Well, that may change.
That's what's got me.
Yeah, that may change soon. All right. Late last month, in an effort to sort of ease some of the COVID restrictions, Governor Cooper said, hey, I've got an idea. I'm going to let, you know what's coming now when I say he's got an idea. He has no ideas. Okay. Anyway, he says, let's let bars and restaurants serve mixed drinks to go. Well, all the sheriffs after that said, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. So my question to you guys is that going to increase the number of DWIs and maybe even possibly alcohol-related deaths? Ogie.
I don't see that way, Jim. I mean, most of the people who get it to go are going to take them home to drink them. I don't see them riding around drinking them.
Don.
Actually, I agree with that. And if I think some of that goes on already anyway, so I don't think it'll increase it.
I think it's not going to make a difference. I mean, people go to the ABC store and get liquor and they take it home.
But it's sealed when they buy it.
Yeah.
How are you going to seal a Star? Well, I don't want to get into this.
You disagree?
You can unseal it and put it in your Coke.
I love Roy. All right. Last month, owners of a place called The Warehouse in Winston-Salem refused to allow a gay couple to hold their wedding. They're saying, hey, we got a problem there. It's against our religion. Guys, should religious freedom outweigh civil freedoms, Ogie?
Well, just so you'll know, I've reached out to that couple and offered my services to marry them.
Because you can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And I also have a venue that's very gay friendly and socially distanced, and they're catering to COVID type small
But as Gomer
weddings.
Pyle said, what a dumb thing to do. I mean, for them to be rejected. Don,
I agree.
thoughts?
Well, at least I think our U.S. Supreme Court sort of says that it's going to be religious freedom is going to trump.
Keith.
Well, I think they have a right as a business, but I think what people also have a right to do is not to visit those businesses and don't patron them so their money won't be spent there. And what results in that is a closed business.
Well, that's right. I mean, things like that tend to come back around, I guess. Spain, I don't know why we're doing a story about Spain, but I'll tell you. Spain has just announced it's going to create a database of everyone who refuses to have the COVID vaccination. They say they're going to share the data with other European countries, but not with the public. Guys, are you okay with keeping tabs on folks who refuse to take a vaccination, Ogie?
Actually, I am. I just have a real big problem with these anti-vaxxers and the folks who just think there's something wrong with trying to save your life and save the lives of other people that you come in contact with. It's
Don,
bizarre.
is it a privacy issue? What are your thoughts?
I think it's a privacy issue, and it would never happen in this country.
You don't think it would?
No.
Keith?
I think it's probably going to happen, but you know, with so many mutations of this virus, I mean, how are you going to keep track of what's going on? I think it's a major issue, but I do believe that that will be happening, and I think they're going to start, but I don't think it should.
A number of small businesses, and we've sort of covered this before, but they're now becoming more concerned that if people come to their venue, let's say to have a wedding or just to go into a Walmart or something, they're afraid they're going to be sued if somebody says, hey, I got COVID at your place. Very quickly, Ogie, should these people be free from liability?
Actually, yes, because like Keith says, you can't really trace it to one specific source most of the time.
Don?
I think it should be free of liability, but I haven't heard of any cases so far of people suing from that.
There have been in other parts of the country. I don't think we've had any around here necessarily. Keith?
Yeah, I think you should sue for stupidity. Yesterday, it was two couples who went to vote in Georgia, and they had coronavirus. They knew they had it. They voted, and then after they left, they said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we had coronavirus." So
great.
You know, I think that you're not going to be able to sue, but some people need to be sued.
All right, changing topics. The owner of the Cleveland baseball team says he'll drop the name Indians within the next 2 years. I understand, guys, why certain names and mascots and things offend Native Americans. Was this one a little too politically correct, Ogie?
Ironically, I have on my football team tie today because
Washington?
they don't have any football team ties out there,
Right.
but they're in the playoffs. I'm this way about it, Jim. I don't know.
Don,
I don't
quickly.
know.
Well, I think politically, from the government side, I think we have been too politically correct. I think private sector, I think the baseball team's talking, listening to people.
Yeah. Keith, quickly.
I think names mean something, but I think Indians is going a little bit too far.
All right, finally, guys, an exclusive spa in Egypt now offers a massage where they put snakes all over your body to help relax your muscles. Guys, would you want to have a snake massage? Okay.
Not in a million years, Jim. I hate snakes. I'm scared of them. I hate them. That's my definition of hell.
A naked snake massage, Don.
My muscles feel just fine. I don't think I need one.
Keith, would you like a snake massage on your naked body?
My body's so perfect that I don't need a snake.
Your body is, what does your body being perfect have to do with anything? My body is perfect. Well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. And this is late-breaking election news from back in November. We're just now learning that up in New Hampshire at a voting place, this woman walks in there with an anti-Trump T-shirt. The voting official came up and properly said, ma'am, you can't be in here with that shirt. It's political. So instead of going home and changing, she just took it off right there. There was nothing on under it. She walked over to vote, and she voted topless. Now, I don't know how widespread topless voting is in that area, but I do know when Ogie found out about it, he's announced he's moving to New Hampshire.
He's already moving.
He's already moving. He's leaving after this show. For all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.